Big boy on the rails. Hello everybody, and welcome back to Old, Frail, and Decrepit. This time we're going to have a look at the items that I picked up at the December Nebraska Iowa Railroaders Holiday Train and Toy Show. Now, I was privileged to have a few tables set up with things to sell there. And these are things that I picked up at the show. Most of them were projects. A few of them were oddball things I'd never seen before, or things that I had seen that I just kind of wanted to add to the collection. So enjoy watching what I picked up and see them run, see what I've done with them. Thanks for watching. First of all, the big one was a locomotive. I didn't have one of these previously, and actually I didn't even have to pay for this one. I traded another item that I had that was too big to fit on the track. Now, this is the box that all of my purchases came in. Actually, I got the box at one of the vendors, and we'll get to what actually came in that right now. This is one of the things that was in there. I would guess it to be Lionel because of the coupler. Might be Ives. Maybe somebody knows. Looks like it's been repainted and redecorated for Santa Fe. When I got it, the body, the roof, the cupola, the chassis were all scattered throughout the box. So, in my excitement of being home from the first day of the train show, of course, I had to dig through, and I kept finding parts to this and got it all put together. And it's complete. Isn't that nice? Now, next, in the don't give me paint or I'm liable to make a mess department, somebody repainted this great looking piece. Again, looks like an early Lionel, but the little tabs have been broke off of the couplers, so we may have to do something with that. But for the price, I couldn't hardly pass it up. It was only $5, and it has that nice played with look. This comes from another dealer. Now, for those of you who are interested in selling things, this man was a genius. I wanted, where's that? Here it is. I wanted this item off of his table. It was only $5. And I thought, $5, that looks good to me. I mean, it needs a little repair, but that's okay. But all I had was a 20. So he says, well, see if there's something else on here you want. So I looked around, and I had looked at these a couple of times. And I thought, you know what? That's perfect. And thankfully, it was $15, so didn't have to go searching for another item on that table. This used to be a action car with the little guy that would pop out and act like he was going to throw something at you. Well, as you can see, the weathering on it's been done by like somebody that was off their medicine, and just a little bit here and a little bit there, but you know what? I kind of like the look of it, and I like these older post-war cars anyway. So I just took the mechanism, or I guess it's on this door, took the mechanism and just bent it down here so the door wouldn't keep popping itself open. The activator was gone off of it anyway, so I'm going to do a little bit of cleaning up and get that stuff out of there. But again, another $5 purchase. Then I got two of these. Now these originally were pipe unloaders, and they'd hit the activator and the pipes would come rolling off the side. Well, I've been working on a little project. I picked one of these up thinking I could put trailers on it, but it really wasn't working. So I decided to just make it a pipe hauler. Did a little bit of changing to the car itself, but this is what they're going to look like, only with several layers of pipe on them. So I thought, well, one looks good. Wouldn't three look better? And I think I paid $3 a piece for those. I'm kind of getting the impression that I must be kind of cheap. Here's another item that I picked up. I had never seen it before, and I'll try and get this to focus. Enjoy refreshing Lionel Cola. Now, I'd never seen this car before, but the man told me, oh, it's not a custom. They actually did that. So I thought, well, that's an oddball thing. I better take that home with me. And here it is. Also got, this is a little British 00 boxcar. Very heavy. It feels like it's all cast. Wheels are missing off of it. We're going to make some sort of little project out of that. We'll just have to see how that one turns out. If it turns out halfway decent, I show you. If it turns out really stupid, I'll probably still show you. And now you might not be excited about this, but I am. It's one of the plastic Scout motors. Now, I got it from my son. He says it runs, but it'll either replace the motor that I have in my 242, or I'll take the parts out of it if it doesn't run and get mine so to go forward and reverse. Don't like these motors, so I'm not going to fit out two of them with this type of motor, but it is kind of neat to have just one example of it, especially if it runs. Of course, my grandson, who's into Hot Wheels, come to the end of the show and he says, Grandpa, you want that? And I says, yeah, what do you want for it? He says, $1. I thought, a Batmobile from the TV show for the layout? Oh yeah, sign me up. So we're going to get this out of the container, which will obviously increase its value, and we're going to get it on the layout somewhere. And one more that I bought for my wife. It is a Hot Wheels Dessert Drifter. When I saw it, the first thing come to mind, of course, was there's always room for Jell-O. Now, a while back, I saw a video where a man was showing some oddball Lionel boxcars. And I thought, those are kind of cool. So I thought, well, if I ever see one, I might buy one. Well, for $10, I think I wrote that price in there myself, the handwriting's so bad. But this is a boxcar called the Mini Max 9090. And let's just have a look at that. This is a model of an actual General Mills car. And what makes it so different is the whole side opens. Now the prototype car was exactly like this. And you'd have large bulk containers of materials that would fit inside, and they could unload all along the side. And both sides open up like that. Now when the car was new, it had supports in here, but the guys who bought these, they wanted it to look like the prototype. Now the prototype didn't have supports, so they would cut these supports out. But for the price, I couldn't ask for a better example of this. Now, as you can see, it is a very cheap version of a Lionel with just the 2 in the front, 2 in the back, and then the really cheap dummy couplers, but it'll look good going around the track. And what we've got left in the box are the items that were in this box when I purchased it, aside from that first caboose that we looked at. And we got this little item. Don't know what it was from originally, but it's a boom from a crane of some sort, but it has the crank that turns it around, and also the crank that would crank up the string with the hook. So this is going to be some project that I'm going to put together. Not sure yet what it's going to be, but we'll find something to do with that. Then we got a little worse for the wear gondola. What is this one? A 652. So I think I'll get this one hooked together. It is missing part of the box coupler on the end here, but it's got enough of it, it'll still hook up. Needs some wheels. But for the $20 that I paid for this box, I can't really complain about it too much. Now the first thing I saw when I come to this box was this boxcar. I've taken the roof off of it. Oh, it also had a track clip with it. And in the bottom of the box here, as you can see, it's been repainted. So somebody liked the Santa Fe, but it had the 2 doors that go with it. So all I've got to do is put some trucks on it, and I'll have me another tin boxcar. But not only that, a second one. This one's a Southern. Wow, they were really expanding their horizons. And it also has the doors with it and the roof. And I don't think I'll be repainting those. I kind of like the way those look. Now, it has also this boxcar body with the doors, but it doesn't have the chassis or the roof. But we're going to do some finagle and see what we can put together on that. Because you see, in this box, there are a couple of chassis and a part. Be nice to have the whole train of that, but at least I got that much. Another chassis from a lighted caboose. But the thing that really was exciting when I got to digging around in here were these 3 cars. These are Ives. It says they're Limited Vestibule Express Iroquois. Limited Vestibule Express Baggage Car, U.S. Mail Express Service. And Pennsylvania Lines Caboose. So we're going to see what we can do to get some wheels on these, rig up some sort of a coupler. You see, the coupler on these was some sort of a loop. Limited Vestibule Express baggage car, U.S. Mail Express service, and Pennsylvania Lines caboose. So we're going to see what we can do to get some wheels on these, rig up some sort of a coupler. You see, the coupler on these was some sort of a loop thing that would go over this little stud. So we're going to have to work on what we can do with that. I've thought about maybe a paperclip reshaped. This one's got both vestibules on the ends. This one's only got one of them. So I might just have to do some trading around to make one really good car. And I'll have to come up with some sort of a roof for this also. But these are the things that I picked up at the train show. Now let's go ahead and get some of this stuff on the track. Let's have a quick look at how I got these onto the track. Now, as you can see, the two tin box cars, I took Mark's trucks with the tilt couplers and just screwed those through the bottom. Had drill holes to do that. But as I run a lot of Marks here, this worked out perfect. So I'll actually probably run these a lot with the scale items that I have. And this next one here is one that I'm not done with yet. This was that little box car. Took a Mark's 6-inch frame, and I just ran a screw up through. See, the frame had a hole in the bottom. Just ran a screw up through, drilled a little hole there, and that body fits right on there. Now I just have to make a roof for it. And this dandy passenger vehicle, remember, it had both tabs gone off of the couplers. So what I did, again, put a Mark's tab and slot coupler at each end of it. Just put it in where the old couplers used to come through. Gives a little bit of distance, but it'll be fine here. But at least it gets it back onto the track. And look at this again, so that this was more versatile. Put a Mark's tab and slot coupler on the front of it too. That way it can be run with almost everything, because I know I've showed this before, but the little adapter I made to go between a Lionel and a Mark's goes into the Lionel knuckle coupler, and the little tab that comes down goes right into either the tab and slot or the plastic tilt coupler. So I can run pretty much anything I want with any combination. Now, a couple other cars here that we've got. Now, if you guys are scale guys or HO guys, you might want to plug your ears and close your eyes on this one. This is that 00 boxcar that I said that I'd show you whether it turned out good or turned out horrible. Well, here it is. I put, as usual, Mark's trucks on it with the tilt couplers, and just run a screw up through the bottom, nut and bolt, and Actually, when you're running it with the 6-inch, it doesn't look too bad. Now we come to the ones that I was the most concerned with, and that was these little Ives cars. They were missing their wheels, so I put Mark's wheels on them. Catching a theme here. The roof on this one, I think I'm gonna paint it black just so it blends in a little better. But I just took one of the extra cabooses, cut the roof off it, trimmed it down on the ends, so it's a little more typical to what Ives would have had. Now, because these are such light cars, I just took the hooks from the wire hooks from Christmas ornaments, twisted them on there, and because they are so light, that works just fine. Did that on this one also. Now these are kind of a one-way setup, so this has to go with the first car, and then the caboose will hook into the back of that. And on that Iroquois car, for the front, again, for the versatility of it, I put a Mark's tab and slot coupler on it. And see the hole in the back here where you can, there we go, get it in the camera, where you can run the hook from the following car. And then this little item here, I had noticed that the one set of wheels on it was a Mark set. So I just fitted it out with the extra wheels that I had from other Mark's projects. And here we are. We're able to run it.